Welcome to How to Deal When the Shit Gets Real podcast. I'm Rietta, and
I'm Connie, and we are two crazy cousins talking about how to deal.
As you know, we're cool like that.
Well, don't get ahead of yourself.
Hey, we can pretend, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much only in my mind.
So we're going to start this episode talking about, I guess this would be important, right, Connie? It's important.
Yeah, I think so.
Since we touched on it a little bit in our last episode, our Valentine's Day episode about depression, we're going to talk about mental health because it's super important and more people struggle with it than I think people realize.
And you know what? Also, I saw on Valentine's Day, like, some memes that were kind of making fun of, like, Valentine's Day, getting somebody who's single depressed, pretty much. So that's kind of what gave me the idea. Yeah. I should find that meme and we should post it.
We should. I think you sent it to me, so I have it.
Oh, I probably did. Good thing I was totally thinking ahead.
Thank God for text messaging.
Yep.
So that was our main thing. That was what we're going to start with, was just talking a little bit about depression and basically that you're like not having a relationship shouldn't feel like a defining trait that you have to have.
Although I do know people who do feel like it is a defining trait, and it doesn't go well, doesn't end well.
No, not usually. I mean, it's absolutely okay to be intertwined with your partner. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you need to have your own self as well, and not having a relationship doesn't make you any less of a person.
And it also, yeah, it definitely doesn't. And when you're too dependent on another person for your happiness, that a relationship is what makes you happy, it only ends badly. The people that I know who are dependent on another person to define themselves, they've only ever ended in divorce. So it's not a great thing to strive for. It's like you need to be two individual people, and then a marriage is bringing two people together, not necessarily becoming one, but you're together, you're linked. You're not necessarily the only thing that defines you is your significant other, because that would be a little crazy. How it would be life.
And there's definitely nothing wrong with if you want to be single for your whole life. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I've known plenty of people that have even waited until their 30s before they've even thought about getting married, and you don't even have to.
Yep. Just like my stepbrother.
Yeah,
he was dead set on never, ever getting married. The only person that believed he would find somebody is Grandma, because God bless her.
Grandma is the epitome of love never fails.
Pretty much.
Also,
it's never done her wrong.
Well, I mean, she's amazing. Also, if you're like, Connie, did you ever watch Sex and the City?
Not really, no.
No, that's kind of past your generation. Well, for anybody else that watched Sex and the City, she's Charlotte, like the always believing in love will always prevail. Like that's how our grandma is too. Like,
and she definitely believes in like the partnership. You can't go wrong with a relationship because you need somebody there from a day-to-day basis to help you get through tough times.
Mm-hmm. And it does help.
Anyway.
But that was the main thing. And if you are feeling depressed for whatever reason, reach out to somebody. Reach out to a friend, a family member, somebody on the phone. I mean, anybody. And even if you feel like you don't have somebody, I can guarantee you there's at least one person that would want to help you.
For sure.
Before we get too off topic, because we tend to do that. Sorry. We talked about that. I gotta find that meme. We're gonna post that one too.
Definitely. Yeah. And another reason why we wanted to talk about this is because right now is like the height of depression, because you have that seasonal depression that can kick in, especially not where Marietta is. Hawaii, you're not going to get a lot of seasonal depression.
No, not too much.
But when you're up here in the Midwest, you're definitely going to get a touch of that for sure.
Yeah, I remember I've always seen my mom has struggled with seasonal depression, which is one of the reasons they got their motorhome, and they would come visit us when we were still living in California, because it just, I mean, she loves the snow and all that, but because Illinois has so many days where it's not sunny, she really struggled with it.
So what would she do to, kick that seasonal depression before they got the motorhome?
Yeah, before they got the motorhome, she actually, because I don't know about you, Connie, if you ever got into it, but when I was a teenager, tanning was all the thing, to have the little sticker on you where it wasn't tan. It could be like a Playboy bunny or whatever. Somebody out there, please remember this. Okay, Connie does remember this.
Oh, I do, because I remember you doing it. I remember you writing something in Sharpie, when we went to the beach one time, but that's neither here nor there.
Something in Sharpie? I don't even remember that part, but
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, like a heart on my wrist or something. I don't really remember.
See, that was before the tanning salons had the stickers and you made your own sticker.
Well, that was because you and I were going and doing the real tanning and not going to a salon.
There you go. But anyway, because I was tanning, she decided that she would come with me, because actually a lot of things, one of the main things that helps seasonal depression is getting some good old vitamin D. So she would come into the tanning bed not to get tan, but just to get artificial sun.
To help wash away the blues.
Yeah, wash away the blues. I mean, I can't say that I blame her. I remember living at home too, going, when is the sun going to come out? It's been 2 weeks.
That, and it's so sporadic. I think just this past week, we've had it be 50 degrees, then snow, then now it's raining out. So you get a lot of really weird weather. And I think it just in general, that kind of fucks with your body. Going all the different pressure systems, from the difference between a rainstorm and then having snow is it's a lot to deal with.
Probably why people get sick too, because it's warm, Gross. It's cold, it's warm, it's cold.
Oh, for sure. I think that's almost always why I always end up with a spring cold. Maybe that won't happen though, now that I'm working alone in my house.
Yeah, and you don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, you don't have to touch gross people or see gross people. Yeah, yay, no gross people.
No gross people.
At least not in the work environment.
Anyway. Yeah, not in the work environment anyway. So yeah.
Go out, I swear.
Go out. I promise I leave every once in a while.
Exactly.
So yeah, she'd get some sun, and getting outside, even though it is gray outside, getting out in the fresh air, I think helps people, go for a walk your dog, just get out of your house. I don't know if anybody else in our family battles seasonal depression. I know my mom does, but I don't know if anybody else does.
I don't know if my mom does seasonal depression, but I know she gets more anxiety than depression because of everything she has to do. Because I feel like the Shrinks were kind of meddlers. Mm-hmm. And, she wants to make sure that me, Luke, and Mitch, that we're all, doing what we're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And, she worries about us then worrying about, her own finances and everything. I think it's a little bit much. So I feel like she ends up just getting really more anxious than anything. She tells me she lies awake at night just worrying. She worries about things that she really doesn't even have control over, honestly. And those things are probably the things that she needs to let go of, If you can't have control over, you should probably try and not be anxious about that. But try telling somebody who's anxious that. It doesn't work like that, really, in practice.
It does not. And sounds like she almost has generalized anxiety disorder, because a lot of that is doing with worrying. But that was a perfect segue, because we were planning on talking about anxiety, and Connie and I kind of struggle in different ways. She has more of a family aspect, and I have more of a social panic disorder aspect. So I didn't realize your mom
it runs in our family too.
I think it does.
I've always heard that from my mom.
And supposedly, I actually have a therapist And I've talked to her about that because, when you see somebody who's a professional, you have all the questions like, is this normal? Like, can I inherit this? And it might play a factor because of how they acted around you, and you might pick up certain traits, but it's not actually like genetic.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not. We just all like to generalize those things. I'm like, yep, family trait.
Yep. Well, that makes it easier. It's an easier explanation to explain it away. Oh, I got that from my mama. Oh, I got that from my daddy.
Yep, for
Yep.
sure.
So
Yeah,
how about you talk about the family anxiety aspect and maybe build on like your mom, what you were saying about your mom?
well, I might have gotten it from her, but my general anxiety is more towards family and family like expectations. For instance, I had to go to a family dinner, and when I made the plans, almost immediately, I was anxious about like, what are they going to talk to me about? What are they going to tell me that this is what you need to do? This is what, but then you have to realize, like, and I was probably anxious for like a whole night
Mm-hmm.
about going to dinner. And the thing that I really needed to realize, which I eventually did, obviously, is that no matter if they want to talk to me about having a kid, if they want to talk to me about like my finances, because our family members are weird. They will talk to us about, so exactly how are your finances today? Like they'll be
When are you
that,
having a baby?
yeah, they'll be that intrusive. And I just have to remember, it's not up to you. It's none of your business. It's my own business. It's my own decision. And they can't control me, but it's hard because you want
Yeah,
to play nice. You
right.
don't want to
And
just be an asshole.
right. And there is these expectations and you want to live up to them even though you don't have to.
Which
That's
is
the
pretty
one
much our
thing,
whole life.
pretty much. That's the one thing. So here's another. We've been throwing out names trying to get sponsors. So here's another name I'm going to throw out there because I love her. Rachel Hollis in her first book wrote a quote that like I love, and that she said, "Other people's opinions of you is none of your business," and I love that because it's so true. Like it doesn't matter what their opinion is of me, good, bad, or otherwise. It's none of my business, and it shouldn't have any impact on me.
Exactly. But yeah, and I feel like family is like a little bit different because you see them more. It's not just a
Yeah.
random person,
Mhm.
and they all have opinions, as you well know.
Mm.
They all have opinions of you, and like part of me cares, but I'm trying to get myself to care less so that I
Mhm.
can be less anxious and not, and so that it doesn't matter.
Right. Because it doesn't
So
matter.
that, yeah, because in reality, no matter how much my mother or whomever wants me to have a baby, definitely never up to them. They can't tell me a time. They can't tell me when, who, where, how, why. They can't tell me any of that. It's none of
Right.
their business. It's mine and my husband's business, and that's about it.
And the other thing people don't factor into, especially like the baby conversation, is if you're having infertility issues or something like that, you've struck a chord, a very sensitive chord with some people that you don't even know you're striking because you're just so like, when you having a baby, like it's just something that should just magically happen.
Yeah. I mean, I've already had people in our family tell me, well, you probably won't be able to have a baby.
Because they
Knowing,
know, right?
yeah, that, and because like, oh, a couple of people didn't have babies in our family, so what? That's their choice.
Well, one of them can't because they're lesbians. So, I mean, they
Yeah, yeah,
could. They
yeah. So
could in a different way. So
yeah, you could adopt.
that doesn't
Actually,
count.
all of our aunts could have kids if they chose to adopt, but they none of them did.
Yeah.
The three that have not had children never chose to adopt or do anything different or really try out of the normal realm of trying to have a kid.
Yeah, exactly. And they absolutely could have adapted. Just meant like in the normal sense, they
They
could do it
definitely,
the normal way.
biologically, they cannot.
Yeah, biologically they cannot. They can absolutely, and it would be wonderful. But biologically, that just doesn't work that way.
It just doesn't. But
I still remember being like, God, I had to be maybe 12 years old,
mhm,
and one of the aunts sent me a gift. I don't remember what it was for, maybe a birthday or something.
mhm.
And she literally got pissed that I didn't send a thank you note. I'm
Oh,
like, I'm 12. I don't,
We
know
all
all these
love
things.
notes.
And she literally was like, well, if you're not going to send me thank you notes anymore, I'm not going to send you a present. I'm like, are you
Like, okay.
like, okay, if you're only sending me a present to get a thank you note, then I don't want your stinking present. Like, if you only want it to get a pat on the back, I don't want your present.
Well, yeah. You're not, see, that's the other thing, is that there should be no strings attached to your relationships in general and to familial relationships. There should not be that, I want this, I want that. Like, our aunts are so wanting to do, they want to divide shit up before somebody even passes away. That's not even, you're like, it shouldn't even cross your mind.
Yeah, it shouldn't even be a topic of discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so therefore the thank you note shouldn't matter. I mean, my mom always told me to call, and I always feel like a call is good enough. And I hated thank you notes. So I think we could probably spend a whole episode on thank you notes,
With our
because our
family,
family
yes.
was big on thank you notes. And the only way you could get around a thank you note, and this only happened later in my life, like it only started to be okay in like junior high or high school, was if they were there at the party or whatever and gave you a gift, you opened it and you said thank you, then it was okay to not. But if they sent you a card and they weren't there, then you had to send a thank you note.
I don't know. I'm 34 and I still haven't figured out the fucking rules.
Well,
they're mysterious.
Those are the rules of design. I hate thank you notes because I hate my handwriting. I don't have to, like, I don't like it.
I'm all for sending thank you notes in the proper situation. Like if somebody threw you a wedding shower, like okay. Or
a baby shower,
or your wedding, or stuff, big events that people come to that spend a lot of money, that take time out of their day, like all of that. But like they wanted thank you notes for Christmas presents. Like Christmas
when they were sitting and watching us open the Christmas gifts. That's why that rule became in place. And at first it was not. At first it was not. I remember having to do Christmas thank you notes, even though they were sitting there watching us open the gifts. We got it. You saw the look on our face when we opened it, if we loved it or whatever. So why do I have to send you a thank you note? You were in the room with me. I understand sending a thank you note to other people who are out of state who sent me a Christmas card with money. Yes, sure. I will write you a thank you note. You were not there to see the look of surprise on my face.
I just feel like Christmas should be nixed. Nixed from Connie's making faces at me. Nixed from the conversation completely, because it's the season of giving. And like that's what Christmas is about. Like I don't think thank you notes should be a part of Christmas.
Because you're only supposed to be doing Christmas gifts to be thankful for another person, or just because you want to, because you love that person, not because I want a thank you card.
Yeah.
Actually, I've gotten yelled at for not doing Christmas cards. I think next year we finally will, but I just haven't had the time or the money or really the want to do it.
Time.
It seems more of like a bragging thing. Mm-hmm. Like, look at where we went. Look at what we've done. Here you go. Here's a card. And I don't even know who these people are, but sure.
I honestly think I'm going to stop sending them, because I think I got maybe like 5 this year. And I mean, it's not about how many I get, but like obviously it's kind of becoming a dying thing. So yeah. I don't know. I might not do anymore. I do like sending cards. I guess I'm kind of old school in that way. And I know Grandma loves getting cards, so I'll always send Grandma a card.
Yeah, I would always send Grandma a card. I just really haven't had I've been too busy. Because last year we had weddings, and I had a wedding in December. Plus, there were 3 weddings that year.
And you moved into your house.
I don't feel like dishing out how much money for cards.
And you guys got, you were newlyweds, you were remodeling a house.
Yeah, there was just a lot going on. It was
So let's throw that question out there. This is kind of a 2-parter. So what do you feel the rules are for thank you notes? Like, what situations do they apply? And does Christmas fall into that category? Like, do you believe in sending thank you notes for Christmas, or is Christmas, just the season of giving and thank you notes don't apply?
And do you send out Christmas cards in general? This should really
There we
just be
go.
a Christmas card. This should be a Christmas episode, honestly.
We're talking about
That's
Christmas
the
in
way we're
February. Christmas in
Christmas.
February. Let's go back to anxiety then.
Exactly, because Christmas just gives you anxiety.
It does, actually.
Oh, does it for you? It doesn't really give me much
No,
anxiety.
not for me. I know. I think my mom, it does. I don't. So I have more. And actually, I'm just starting to figure this out because I just started talking to somebody. And we pretty much figured out that I have panic disorder and agoraphobia. And unlike what I thought, and I'm sure other people think, agoraphobia is not just like you don't want to leave your house. That's the extreme end of agoraphobia, where you won't even leave your house. The beginning stages are just like you worry about going to like places, like going to like a concert or going to a family gathering, like Connie said. Certain situations play into it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what happens to me. I'm pretty good in my everyday life, but if I have something big coming up, like I said, like a concert or a wedding or the military ball where there's going to be a lot of people and a lot of interactions, that makes me very anxious.
Mm. Yeah, I know one of my real good friends has like a ton of anxiety, like different anxieties. She won't even drive a car, really.
Which that kind of falls into the agoraphobia category.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. And it's like she has very weird moments of, I want to go out and do everything, and I want to stay home and do absolute like nothing, because like it just kind of comes in waves. But she did take like the first step into actually getting out there, where she bought a car, because previously she didn't have a car. Her mom would drive her around because it makes her anxious, as we're talking about. But and so she slowly started driving like neighborhoods and stuff like that.
That's good.
And I'm like, because for me, on it, what I told her is, for the fear of driving, you can't get over it until you start driving. There's no way around that. Driving is driving. You have to like keep on practicing it, even if it makes you like a little bit anxious. But I don't see a problem with going it a little bit at a time.
Oh no,
going out of your comfort zone.
See, for me with driving, it's kind of the opposite. I like to drive because I'm in control. If I'm in the car with somebody else and like something happens, it's just, I don't like not being in control, which is why I don't like flying. Sure. I don't like flying because it has nothing to do with fear of dying or crashing or any of that. It's the lack of control. I can't get off when I want to. I'm stuck in this little tube with a bunch of people that I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. For sure. I don't particularly care about flying. I've never really had that.
I don't think most people like flying. I mean, it's
not the greatest. It's not the worst. Like, I'm just like, I'll deal with it just to get to where I'm going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I still do it. Obviously, I had to fly 10 hours out here. I do occasionally take a Xanax when it becomes
I definitely would.
But that's the only time I take the Xanax is when I fly, because it just sometimes becomes too much. Mm-hmm. But that's how I started hiking, was as a way to get out and to get into nature and forget about anxiety and just, basically forget.
Does that help you?
It does. It does a lot. I don't know what it is about nature. I think because where I grew up with my parents, they had a lot of land. They had forests. They had the creek. And I always played outside. So I think I've always found a comfort in being outside. So there's just something about being in nature that just quiets your mind.
Yeah. Well, and you go on all those hikes with other people, so it might be helping you in a couple of ways, because it's getting you social while you're also like outside, so you're more comfortable. It doesn't make you as anxious.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I would assume. I don't know.
No, I've always tried, even though I know it'll give me anxiety, to do it anyway. Like, I went to the Winter Classic, it's 2 years ago now, when the Blackhawks played at Notre Dame. Notre Dame holds 80,000 people, which normally would have been like, there is no fucking way I'm going. But Took me some CBD oil and I went anyway.
Nice. Did the CBD oil help?
I love the CBD oil. I don't know if it's a placebo effect, just like, like anything, like, oh, I'm taking this, so it's going to work, or if it really works, but it works. So
it works for you.
It works. I love it. It really helps. There's definitely been times where I've taken it, and after, 20, 30 minutes, however long it takes, I can literally feel my body, like, relax.
Do you need some CBD oil for your face? I'm just kidding.
I got into a fight
because her face looks busted up right now because she got into a fight and the other guy looks worse. And that's the story we're sticking to.
That's the story we're sticking to. Hey, nobody's going to really second guess that. I'm a black belt, so. I should try it. Maybe it would. Squirt it on there.
Well, apparently, one of our aunts gave another one of our aunts CBD lotion to help her. And it definitely would not help her because it's an infected area. She needs to take like pills or like a vapor or something like that's inhaled or something, not that
or the
you rub
oil
topically.
Or the oil like I did. You squirt it into your mouth.
Yeah, either what I don't even know how it works. Get her a cookie. I don't know. Get her some regular pot. I think both CBD oil and some regular pot could help out multiple aunts. Honestly, our whole family could really use some mellowing.
Apparently, somebody I know gave the aunt that we know actual pot, and the aunt that we know
way into it. Just so you know,
the aunt that we know said husband said fuck no, and she had to give it back.
That's hilarious. Also, according to my mom, that aunt Colin in high school and college.
Well, of course, they're 70s babies. Of course they smoked a ton of pot.
No, but it was to relieve her being so tense and anxious and stuff like that. Like it was for literally for her to mellow out because you know how high strung she is.
Somebody needs to just sneak some into her tea.
Yeah.
Like their tea leaves.
It's nothing. Don't worry about. My husband Tom, he's like, I'll make her some butter. I'll infuse some cookies for her. Like we won't even have to tell them. And I'm like, no, you have to tell them.
If Tom needs some stuff, I know somebody who grows some stuff that'll give it to him for free. So
he has his own connections. Don't you worry.
But is it free though?
Wait. Who's growing?
Somebody that's related to me.
Is it your mother? No?
No, it's my father.
Does your mother know?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
This is his 3rd year growing it.
For real? Where?
In the backyard.
Nice. Nobody questions it. They're just like, that's fine.
You see where my parents' house is.
That's true.
Nobody's going to question anything.
It's a really great, that's like a great neighborhood. Actually, I was just we were at the car show and they have like, not a little drag racer, but do you remember, unless I'm making this up and it's somebody else, didn't your dad like make you, or you had like a little car that we would, not a car.
Yeah, I had a go-kart.
Yes, a go-kart, because they had some go-karts at the car show. Oh, cool. It was like supposed to be like a go-kart to a like race car type, like they're trying to show like differences. I don't really know. It's car stuff. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure like we would drive around in reality. That's how little they cared because that thing was loud.
Yep. We had, my dad and I built that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Good, I'm not crazy.
Nope.
I was like, I'm pretty sure.
I remember at one point,
you're a kid, you kind of mix up stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember at one point taking Mitchell in my lap because Mitchell was too young at the point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your dad actually tried to buy it from us because we put it.
No way, really?
Grandma always had garage sales every year. She always had garage sales. My dad put it in the garage sale, and Gregory wanted he's like, "Oh, I'll give you $20 for it." And my dad was like, "No."
No, that thing's you need at least 100, buddy. And it's just like that bike my dad tried to sell, because it was like an expensive, like $300 or $400 bike, and a guy offered him like $20, and he said no. Like they haggled on it for forever, and we kept the bike for a while.
Yeah, my dad literally laughed at him and was like, no.
I would have said the same thing. It's not worth it then.
No.
It's not worth, like, no. Exactly. Well, that's why they now have things called like OfferUp and stuff like that, where you can
just take pictures and put it online.
That, and you can try and get more money for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially a go-kart. Come on.
I guess A for effort for your dad for trying.
Really, it's bad effort.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, coping. So there you go. Use marijuana to cope.
Yes, we use marijuana to cope. We use drag racing, when you're a kid.
Yeah. CBD oil if you're against like smoking pot, because to each their own. If you don't feel like smoking pot, CBD oil does come THC free. The one I have is THC free. Actually, my good friend Lauren, her husband is part owner of a company called Medterra that's based out of Laguna Hills. They sell a very high quality THC free CBD oil, and the prices are fabulous. So if you haven't tried it,
my dad was trying to sell it like from a third party.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, right. And, you're preaching to a choir, because I remember him being I know CBD oil is not a drug, but I remember him being very against any and all drugs, alcohol, anything that could inhibit you, because he's Mr. Fitness. And then he goes and sells overpriced CBD oil stuff. They even had stuff to make your lashes longer.
Oh, my Lanta.
Okay, whatever.
I remember there being a point where I wanted to beat your dad's ass.
Well, that doesn't take much.
Well, we were kids, and he was like yelling at you and Luke, and I was like, you will not yell at them. Stop it. And then he started yelling at me, and then my mom was like, you will not yell at them either.
You will not yell at my kid.
Or your kids.
One of the biggest complaints from one of the aunts against my mom is that, like, why didn't she get in between, like, stop him? Like, but she did. Like, you weren't there all the time.
Oh, it's easy to say as an outsider.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it was like, pick your battles. Like, some things, like, maybe we did deserve it to be yelled at. Other things, like, clearly not so much.
Yeah. And as long as he wasn't, like, beating you black and blue and she was just sitting there.
Yeah, it's a little different, yeah.
Not to say that him yelling at you isn't bad, because it's definitely...
but if you asked my brother, he would say, oh, he did. Which I never remember him ever laying a hand on any one of us. So...
that was like the one certain claim against Grandpa.
Yeah, who the hell knows?
Yeah, who the hell knows? But anyway, since we were talking about coping, we were also going to talk about unhealthy ways to cope, which I guess would be maybe kind of hard to recognize in yourself.
Well, we're good at recognizing it in other people.
Yeah, we'll help you out because we have a lot of experience of recognizing it in people who don't care. Cough you.
My unhealthy way is food. I'm just kidding. Well,
I think we all have those moments where we're like, cookie.
Yeah, pretty much. And I bought like lava cakes this weekend, so I'm like, lava cake.
Those look so good.
Huh?
Those look so good.
Like bugs.
Whatever you sprinkled on top looked like bugs. She had this picture on Instagram, which was pretty Instagram worthy. But when you took a look at it for a second, it looked like it had
chocolate shavings.
It looked like it had maggots on it, but they were chocolate shavings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That or my mind is just
my food with maggots. It's just the way I am.
That or my mind is just that out there. So.
No, it probably did. But that's why it was only one of those 24-hour posts. It wasn't like good enough to be an actual post.
See, it was only good to be in the story.
Exactly. Have to get all those terms right.
Right, exactly. So with the unhealthy ways to cope, examples that we've seen in our family, Connie came up with one this morning when we were planning about using religion in a negative way to cope is one of them, and then the other one that we came up with. Huh?
It could be negative or positive because religion is supposed to drive you in a positive direction, but I think it can go south when it's too much. You're not taking it too seriously, but it's just driving everything in your life. Like I think there is a point where it's okay, calm down. You've gone too far. Please stop quoting shit at me. I'm just I just want to be a human being, like talking to you one-on-one. I don't need God to get into the middle of our conversation. Yeah, and then there are like healthy ways where it gives you comfort.
Yeah, and you find power and
positive and light and all the good things you're supposed to get for religion, but can it get blown up and be too much? Most definitely.
Yes, absolutely. I wasn't saying by any means that being religious is bad by any means. Our grandmother is probably one of the most spiritual people that I've ever met, and because she is incredible. You've heard us talk about her a bazillion times already.
And it's only episode 2.
Yeah, and she's basically the 9th wonder of the world, or 8th wonder of the world, whatever. I don't know how many there are anymore.
Exactly. And then also, like, in a negative light, I remember being in college, college, and I just started dating Tom, and my girlfriend did not believe that we should be friends anymore because I was with Tom and we weren't married. So she ended a 5-year friendship because I had a boyfriend.
See, and it's all well and good to share your thoughts with somebody, but to force it on somebody is where, like it sounds like she did with you, is definitely where the line got.
Well, it's not even that. It's, why is it any of your business? Why do you care so much? Right. It's my relationship with him. Right. And then she took it to, well, you judge everybody.
What? You don't judge anybody.
Well, I try not to. I try to be...
Well, we all try not to, but, you do the best you can.
Exactly. I do the best I can. But she was trying to say that I made negative comments about a mutual... She's not even really a friend. She was just more of an acquaintance. Mm-hmm. And the only negative comments that I made is because she was with a guy at the time who was deep into bad, hard drugs. Oh, and I was saying that's not good for her. And it's definitely not a good basis for a relationship. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And she did not like that. So she told me in a bullshit text message that we were going into 2 separate directions because I was at Moraine Valley and she was moving on to ISU. And then I went to ISU less than a semester after her. So that was real separate, real different directions there.
Super different.
Very, very different.
I actually had a very similar experience in college too. Actually, I was dating Kyle, my husband now, and I'm still not exactly sure what happened, but her claim was like when I started dating him, I changed and I wasn't the same person and I needed to break up with him because he was changing me. And it was the same type of thing, like, and I think I was only freshman year, so I was like 17 or 18 at the time. And I was like, oh, okay, and I broke up with Kyle for a little while, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is my relationship, not hers, and she should support me no matter what. And we ended up, like, not really being friends anymore either because she thought she could tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So similar type of situation.
I was trying to think if this is my brother's ex. That isn't my brother's ex you were talking about, eh?
No.
No, shocking.
No, it was actually one of my really good friends.
Oh.
Nope, I was in college, so it couldn't have been.
Oh, because I thought you met her in college.
No, I had known her since high school.
Oh, okay. And it all went downhill from there.
It all went downhill from there. Dun, dun, dun. My book is coming out soon. You can read all about it. Yes, I've done 2 book Ploy
Nice.
2 episodes. I'm so proud of myself.
Job.
A for effort.
Of course.
What were we talking about now? Oh, negative coping mechanisms. That's right.
Definitely. And then we've realized that a lot of our aunts use shopping and like material possessions to cope.
Yup. 100%.
And that would be like
what we've already been talking about, basically, how our grandma is not even gone and they're already like, I want that. I want that. That's mine. No, that's mine.
Yes. Now, and going beyond that, money, like monetarily just going and nobody really thinking, well, do I actually need this? Because I have definitely gotten into the trap where like, well, it's around on sale. I'll buy it. It's fine. Like it doesn't even necessarily look like fabulous or it's like some fabulous thing. Like it's just okay. And you just kind of end up buying it and then it stays in your closet. Actually, it really used to piss off my mom when she would go and buy me like nice clothes and I really actually wouldn't like them and I would not tell her because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. And then I got over that.
Good for you. I'm glad you grew up.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
I also, this is just my opinion, but I feel like a lot of times they say that they want these certain things and then one of them gets it so that they can just turn around and go, ha 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 ha, I get it and you get it. Like, I feel like that's what they're doing to each other.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Like, they're all still 10 years old.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
And living at the old house, teasing each other.
Yeah. And it's like, for what? A statue? Like, why are you a TV? You really need another TV?
A kitty cat that's this big?
Well, and honestly, grandma's TVs are old. I'd rather just go buy a new TV.
It was because it was hers, and then she gave it to grandma. And then when grandma passes, she should get it back because it was hers to begin with. And my mom's like, no, that makes you an Indian giver. No.
That's funny. And my mom's just like, keep it. Let me buy you more stuff. Because my mom just bought her like, my mom just bought grandma like new dishes because they're like the light Cornell ones. So grandma can actually pick them up because the regular stoneware, she can't really pick anything up. Yeah, so my mom got her all the light Cornell wares. My mom's like, let me buy you more stuff.
Well, my mom is to the point where she's like, I don't want anything. You guys fight over it. I'm out.
All of you guys can fight over it. I don't.
I want grandma to be here.
Them asking me if I wanted our recently deceased aunt's like jewelry, or am I going to get any of it? I don't know. That's for you guys to all to fight about it, and I'm sure I won't because all of the sisters are going to go at it. All of the sisters are going to go and root through everything. I'm sure before it even gets to me.
Oh yeah, I'm not even interested. I don't want any of her stuff. Not interested. Bad juju. They can have it.
Like, keep it.
Mm-mm. I'd rather burn it.
Nice. And you know what's really funny? Is that they're all arguing over all of this stuff but they're not, like, living their lives. Like, our one aunt, you know, you've already gone through how much medical issues, and you're still not really, like, living your life. You're just it's the same. You're just going through. You would think that something like that would have changed you, wanted to make you go do more, do different things, experience more because you realized your mortality.
Yep. But my mom said the same thing when I talked to her today. She's like, I thought this was going to change her, and it didn't.
No, not at all. She is the same. Sometimes I do wonder, though, if it's because of her husband.
Probably. He's a douche, please.
Because she has meant... I remember when we
The last time I saw him, I legit wanted to punch him in the face.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, as you were saying.
Because she's mentioned wanting to travel with our old boss, Raquel. Well, who knows? It could be anybody named Raquel. Anyway.
That could be her made-up name.
Yes, that could be her made-up name. And like, it's never going to happen because our uncle, would he let her?
No.
I know for sure Tom definitely would not want me going out of the country without him.
Only
For
because
sure.
he wants to be with you.
Yes. And he wants to protect me. He's too worried. He would be worried about my safety. Really, anywhere.
Yeah.
That's longer than a weekend. He would definitely be like, no, I'm coming with you.
Kyle would absolutely let me, especially because he can't really say anything because he's in the military and he travels by himself. He would only be sad because he wants to travel together.
Yes.
Yeah. He wants to spend time with me and him together.
Also, there's not a lot of people that I'm like, yeah, I want to travel with you.
Like there's you and me could go.
Yeah, okay, well, we could go travel, but like I'm saying, like friends, I don't know. Like there's not a lot of people that I know that have the income that would be just like, no, let's just go together.
Let's have a podcast.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Well, it would not work out.
Yeah,
Tom would definitely be worried about my safety. He would definitely want to be there with me. That's all well good.
Travel with the right person, that's for sure. Like,
and there are friends that I've traveled with in the past that I'm like, I'm never traveling with you again. Hell no.
There are even people that I'm super close with that I would consider really good friends that I still wouldn't travel with. I mean, that's got to be a certain type of person.
Yes. And that's who your husband should be, the person that you want to travel with.
Absolutely.
If that's one of your goals.
Yes.
If it's not one of your goals, then forget about it.
It is one of my goals, even though I hate flying. I want to see as much of this world as I can.
It's a goal for sure. I definitely want to, like, I just don't know how much traveling is in my future, but I'd like to still go places. I mean, I think I've been going on 2-week vacations all of my life, and I don't particularly want to stop now. Oh. And the earlier part of my life was all in the United States. Now I'm like, let's go outside of the United States.
Yeah.
I get Tom caught up because he has not been the traveler that I have been.
That was the one thing that was a plus about like being an only child and my parents having like very flexible jobs is I went a lot of places with them. You know, like we went to Canada, we went up the coast of California, we went skiing every winter, like we went to Florida. So I got to experience a lot as a kid, which a lot of people can't say either.
Exactly, same. And that's also one of the reasons why we're like 1, maybe 2, because it's much easier to go and travel with a kid if there's 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents made it work with 3, but now with how expensive everything is, I doubt it. For me and Tom personally, our finance, no way.
Flying has become so expensive.
And we didn't even fly when we were kids.
Yeah, like most of the time we drove.
Mm-hmm.
But like even with Kyle like being in the military, I mean Jackson's getting travel out of it anyway because he's gotten to live in California now. He gets to live in Hawaii, so
and he got a little taste of the Midwest.
He did. He got a little taste of Chicago too, which is great. So he kind of gets the benefit anyway because we're in the military, and that's one plus is we get to kind of travel around and we get.
Not many kids can say, "Yeah, I've lived in Hawaii."
Yeah. Oh God, and California.
Yeah.
So we get to, and we have the benefit of Space A, where we could fly for free. So that's a thing I'm definitely going to take advantage of while we're active duty.
Yeah, for sure. What is Space A?
It's a way where you basically kind of hop on a flight that's already happening that they have extra seats on, that they're using for like military transport and things of that such to get troops around. And if they're not full, they'll let you hop on there and it's free.
Nice. But isn't that a little bit tricky to like plan? Well, I guess actually now there are now though a lot of apps. Apparently my father-in-law has used this one where you can go and like book a hotel like that night.
Yeah, it would be hard to plan for because it's like being on standby.
Yeah. So you can't really make a hotel reservation ahead of time.
Not really, no. So you definitely fly by the seat of your pants type thing.
Which is fun though.
Sometimes, yeah, I was gonna say sometimes that's fun.
I wish I could do that more often. And how has this podcast now become from an episode of depression to travel? And here we are. Hey, but to bring this all back, pretty sure traveling, like you already said before, is a good way to relieve some of that depression, your anxiety, unless it's travel anxiety. Because, you know, you could be traveling from someplace up in the Midwest or wherever that's cold and going down to Mexico, visiting you in Hawaii.
Absolutely. And like I said, even with my anxieties, I force myself to fly anyway. Because like you talked about with your friend, if you just never do it,
you're never going to get past it.
Yeah, you're never going to get any better. And it's hard. Yes. And it's hard and it sucks sometimes. But you got to do it. It's the only way you're going to
take that Xanax.
Or take a Xanax.
Yes, just take a Xanax. It's fine. That CBD oil. That worked out great. It's fine.
Exactly.
Take a pot cookie, whatever.
A pot cookie, you know, a pot brownie, whatever.
Whatever floats your boat, man, is what we're saying.
You just take a hot bath or read a book or listen to music or whatever makes you happy.
I've now been talking about, like, the next house, definitely want a big bathtub.
Oh, I told Kyle when we finally buy a house, that is an absolute 100% must-have.
Because we only have the, like, bath shower combo, and those tubs are just not deep enough. I'm like, I want, like, a clawfoot tub. I don't even care about the jets. Like, I just want to be submerged. Like, I need a big...
I love those.
Claw tub. And we saw one at this hotel we were at for my stepbrother's wedding. My mom's suite had like a sitting room, her bedroom, and they had like its own clawfoot tub and like a huge shower. I'm like, it's like, hun, this is my next bathroom. And what's even funnier is now Tom is into taking baths, because I took a bath one night to like help me feel better because I was feeling like sick and crampy and just gross. Mm-hmm. And now he takes it like if he's done too much at a workout.
Good.
And he's quite funny about it because you know how we have Epsom salt or whatever, and he's like, I'm taking an Epstein bath. Epstein didn't kill himself. I'm like, okay, honey.
Too soon, Tom. Too soon.
Oh no, he loves it. He thinks it's hilarious.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, I actually just took an Epsom salt bath today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To help your butt and your face.
Yeah.
And your butter face.
The last thing that I wanted to throw out there, that if you are suffering from depression, anxiety, whatever it is that's in the mental health realm, find yourself a therapist. And even if you're not like suffering in the mental health facility or whatever is going on in your life, find a therapist, somebody that you can talk to that will help you work through it.
Now there's a lot of ways to do it, like online for cheaper. Isn't there an app? And we could get sponsored by them if I remembered their name.
Yeah, there's an app. I think Dr. Phil has an app for that too.
For real? Oh my God.
Yeah,
there's all of the apps.
I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, whatever you need to do. I think there's been a very negative stigma attached to seeing therapists, and there is nothing negative about it. I have one. I'm not afraid to admit it. It has helped me figure out a lot of things. Just talking to her has made me feel a lot better. So don't ever be ashamed. There's nothing wrong with having somebody who is a professional that you can talk to.
And if you don't feel up to that yet, like we've said before, talk to somebody else, talk to a friend, because just talking to somebody about your issues or your anxiety can help, because that's pretty much how I got through that dinner party I was going through, is Tom telling me, you know, it doesn't matter. No matter what they say, they can't force you to do anything. And it helps you give perspective, even if it's not professional.
Absolutely. I just know, us being in the military community, we see a lot of PTSD and mental health and suicide because of everything that military goes through, and it's very sad, and anything we can do to even bring down that number by 1 would be fabulous. I mean, if you guys even want to reach out to us, like on Instagram, I don't care if I don't know you. If you want to message me on Instagram because you're feeling depressed or suicidal or whatever, please do.
For sure. 100%. Absolutely. If you want to come on the show, talk about it, let us know. We're open to guests and to really pretty much anything. So
we are. We're going to start having some guests probably like 5 or 6 episodes in, and we've got some really amazing ones lined up. One of them will actually probably talk about depression and PTSD. He is a rad human, so hopefully he'll come on.
Cross your fingers.
He wrote an amazing book, so.
Just like yours. Another plug!
You plugged it for me. I'm so proud of you.
I know!
See, family love. Family can be good. Just P.S. I know we bitch about our family a lot, but there is a lot of love in our family too.
For sure. I mean, I feel like all of the sisters, because there's a lot of them. Oh, you now know that our aunts are women. Just kidding. They're like, they all get aggravated by each other, but they do all love each other.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
But they're all just personalities. I actually always
strong personalities.
Very strong personalities. I thought it was like the best growing up though. Like I always thought that like, oh my God, all my aunts are just so cool to have like so many fun aunts.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're little, you don't see like the arguments that they're having about petty shit.
That's the best thing about being a kid.
Siblings.
Mm-hmm. That's the best thing about being a little kid. Like, little kids don't ever see, like, the negative in anything.
Yep. I just remember being like, oh my God, they're so cool. This is awesome.
The one aunt that we lost a long time ago was my favorite. She had the wittiest sense of humor.
Really?
You probably don't remember as much. Yeah, because you were way younger.
No, I just remember little things. I do remember her being like funny, but like I remember her like giving us candy, like giving him like a $5 bill, not really like big moments or anything like that.
Oh man, she'd lay a zinger on you that was so witty that like it would take you a minute, and then you're like, wait.
Exactly. So that's where our cousins get it from, huh?
Oh, way better than them. Way better than them.
That's not difficult. Sorry, guys. If you know who you are.
Probably.
It's all very veiled. Not very good being veiled.
We need to come up with like
nicknames for everybody?
Yeah, we need to come up with nicknames so that way I don't have to edit out our whoopsies anymore.
No, I told you that from the beginning though.
I know. We should have done it. So that's our goal for next podcast. We're going to come up with goofy nicknames for our aunts and uncles and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just now it's going to have to be on like a Word document and it's going to have to be charted so that we know who we're talking about.
No, we'll have to write it down and be like, so, Birdie.
My brother's name is Duke. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, you already said their names, so that's already out of the bag.
Well, it's not like they're going to listen to this.
Probably
and it's not like I've had anything really negative to say about either of my brothers. They're my brothers.
My mom said she's going to listen. So, hi, Mom.
Don't listen. We're sorry.
We love you.
Don't hate us. Thanks.
Don't hate us, but we love you. All right. With that, we're going to say
adieu.
Adieu. Yeah. Good night from Connie and good afternoon from me. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Rietta.
And I'm Connie. And we'll talk to you next time.